Progress in the FA Cup, but one win from 4 didn't stop the Potters sitting for the table for the first time in 3 years. But Stoke were going to get hit hard by injuries, starting with Gavin Ward's training ground injury that would finish his season and career at Stoke. FA Cup action away to bottom of Division 3 Halifax and their dynamic commentary team, where an injury to Hoekstra would take the shine off his season.
And Stoke City then run down the middle of the pitch. Quick feet there, ball played into space, over Lee Butler, and there's the first goal for Stoke City. Broke the town defence, and Stoke have taken the lead on 28 minutes.
Town have gone 1-0 down there, Andrew.
Mitchell's ball in.
Oh, that's a yellow card. I'm a bit surprised at that one, George.
Yeah, it didn't look too much from here, Jack, but it looks as if he's got his ankle.
Andrew Woodward's ball in now towards Steve Kerrigan. Kerrigan's knocked down. Paul Arsenal's in.
There were no slip-ups when Halifax came to the Britannia for the replay, and a crowd of just over 4,000 were rewarded with 3 class goals. Gudjonsson got the first from a free kick after 22 minutes. A superb strike to notch his second of the season. Five minutes later, and Gudjonsson turned provider, and Iwelumo steered home the second for Stoke. In the second half, O'Connor found Gudjonsson, who supplied another trademark cross for that man Gunnarsson to bury Stoke's third and his 5th of the season. The Potters could now look forward to a home draw against Everton. Wycombe came to the Britannia having lost only once in their last 13 league games, but after only 19 minutes, Gunnarsson laid the foundations for an emphatic Stoke win. Wycombe got themselves level after 24 minutes when McSporran stole in behind Clark. In Hoekstra's absence, Cook and Iwelumo were combining well, although the big Scot couldn't quite stretch to this cross. No need to worry about reaching the next one as Cook laid off to Gunnarsson, who played it through for Iwelumo to stroke it past the keeper on the half hour. Stoke 2, Wycombe 1. Wycombe were becoming frustrated, and 2 minutes later Paul Emblem found it necessary to shove Gudjonsson. He pleaded his innocence with what seemed a reference to Norman wisdom, but the raising of hands meant Wycombe were down to 10 men. A minute before half-time, another fluid move and another Cook flick was coolly finished by Gunnarsson for his second and Stoke's third. In the second half, Cook continued his run after the pass to Thomas, and his endeavour was rewarded with a superb goal in the 57th minute. Stoke 4, Wycombe 1. But Stoke weren't finished, and on 84 minutes, after Handyside's break from defence, substitute Goodfellow dragged back Gudjonsson's original effort to get his first of the season and see the Potters sitting top of the table. Stoke City 5, Wycombe Wanderers 1. Daddison made an appearance as sub for the second time, and the competition for places was hotting up.
I just like to play, really. I can play in the middle and I can play on the left, so if the opportunity comes to me to play on the left, then I'll go and play on the left. If I go up through the middle, then I'll try my hardest through the middle, really.
Very happy, and I'm very proud. I'm proud of my players. I'm proud of the response that they have shown, the character they have shown. Loads and loads of team would have collapsed after the bad defeat against Wigan, but we bounced back and we are in the third round in the cup, top of the table.
Cardiff were the next to try their luck at the Britannia, and it was the return of Graham Kavanagh, although Peter Thorne was injured. Gunnarsson continued his assault on the opposition goal that he'd started against Wycombe, but he was not destined to get on the score sheet today. Stoke kept up the push for the elusive goal, and when Goodfellow, on as a substitute again, played in a ball that Cook couldn't reach, Cardiff's Gabidon obliged and gave the Potters the lead after 77 minutes. It wasn't the largest crowd of the season, but it's probably the loudest cheer. Unfortunately, in the dying minutes, Staniuk got over familiar and conceded a free kick. Now, this was Kavanagh territory, but fortunately for his already rock-bottom popularity, it was Gordon who levelled it at 1-1. But we would be seeing Cardiff back in the Potteries. With Staniuk out through suspension, it was 4 goals, a penalty and an irate commentator that summed up Stoke's visit to Prenton Park on Boxing Day.
Still Clark, first time cross, then a big cross as well. Chance for Stoke. But they scored. That's a great cross, wasn't it? Roberts for the header. It's Kumas. Kumas, long ball forward towards Price. Not a bad ball by Kumas. And Price get there. Yes, it's good. Oh, it's about time as well. Great ball, here's ball out. He's got Allison. Far side, Price made it 2. He's done it again, hasn't he? Well, that's twice that Hill has sliced the ball. He's given a penalty. I don't believe this referee. He's having a laugh. That wasn't intentional. The referee is having a laugh. Well, they scored. Pathetic, absolutely pathetic referee. Not only is he having a laugh, he's having a joke as well.
Nil-nil at Huddersfield, but Suleiman Olare, Peter Thorne's replacement, had been signed. Unfortunately, broken bones in the feet of Handyside and Gunnarsson from this game sidelined Handyside to mid-February, and Gunnarsson's season was decimated. Stoke in a healthy second place at the end of December. January saw 2 wins, 2 defeats and 2 draws, and began a period of struggle for the Stoke squad as they battled against injury problems. No problems against Blackpool on Gudjon Thordarson's 100th game in charge in front of over 16,500 on New Year's Day, when only 2 Division 2 games survived the weather. Standing captain Sergei Staniuk took full advantage after 13 minutes and was leading by example. Stoke had a number of chances to increase their lead, including this one from Gudjonsson, and the missive may have proved costly if Cutler hadn't been on his toes after a short back pass from Henry was pounced on by Payton in the 80th minute. Two minutes later, a typically strong Goodfellow run finished with a pass to Gudjonsson for human dynamo O'Connor to bury Stoke's second. 2-0 to the Potters, and a 9th league victory in 13 home games gave them outright leadership of the division for the first time under Gudjon Thordarson's managership.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. I really enjoyed today. So it's just a shame Brynjar's out now for 6 weeks because we're going to miss him. But we've a few young lads here now that are more than capable of playing, and it'll be interesting now to see how the season finishes.
It was a 4-5-1 rather than 4-4-2 formation that greeted a record crowd of just over 28,000 and Everton for a third-round FA Cup tie at the Britannia. And you can make your own mind up over Everton's decisive free kick.
Either post. Oh, he won it cleanly, did Thomas, but he directed it poorly. Made a bit of a meal of the effort by Gascoigne. Goalkeeper's now coming for the ball, and he's got to regain his position. And the free kick is right on the edge of on the 18-yard line. The ball was a bit late from Ferguson. And it's deflected, and it's in. Johnson. Plenty forward here for Stoke City. Time to find a decent cross. Nobody took control.
A familiar story from seasons past at Northampton. A rock-bottom club and valuable drop points for Stoke, even with the addition of lone man Flynn. A through ball from O'Connor left the usually decisive Goodfellow with a little too much time to think after 6 minutes. He did make amends on 35 with help from Iwalumo and keeper Solid. But Stoke failed to capitalise, and a far from rampant Northampton equalised in the 82nd minute through Parkin's free header. Ulare did make an appearance, but a life-threatening blood clot meant we wouldn't be seeing him for a while. The news was no better at home as Stoke slumped to their first home league defeat since the end of August. The Potters once again had possession and chances, but their efforts fizzled out after the first half, and with the defence looking shakier by the minute, Peacock took advantage in the 80th. A defiant David Kevin deputised for a flu-ridden manager.
There's nothing going to change on one game, and I'm not playing down the disappointment in the dressing room. We all feel it, but it's these things happen, and I'm sure there'll be one or two ups and downs along the way, but I don't doubt the character and the ability of the squad that we have, and I'm sure we'll still be in the shake-up. In fact, I know we will be come the end of the season.
Stoke lost 2 league games in a row for the first time in the season, and Cutler denied an old teammate but couldn't stop a current one at Ninian Park.
Still Andy Leg. Kavanagh let it run nicely onto the right foot. Kavanagh, that was the one he was looking for, and he stunned the hands of Neil Cutler. Hamilton deep across this time, and it's an own goal. Cardiff City lead. It's been gifted to them, and it's Bjarni Gudjonsson who's put through his own goal. Cutler got a good hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. Malumo, Kavanagh in the way. Not the best pass from Kavanagh. Straight to Andy Cook. Neat turn from Cook, left foot, off Andy Leg, and somehow it's come back to the goalkeeper, and Chris Iwalumo cannot believe he hasn't equalised. And the goalkeeper gathering it at the edge of his box. He stretched out the left foot anywhere but there, and it had to be 1-1. Fortune West in the middle. Only Brayson there with it. Bonner. It's towards Andy Leg, and Andy Leg doubles the lead!
Stoke would leave the field at half-time with boos ringing in their ears, most of which were directed at Ricky Daddison. There was no doubt confidence was low, and after only 19 minutes, Scott Green put Wigan in front. A Van Derzen through ball gave Goodfellow the opportunity to get back to his scoring ways, and this time he did what he normally does and buried it. 1 each after 36 minutes. That settled the Potters, but on the stroke of half-time, Dinning took advantage of some defensive laxity and Wigan went into the break 2-1 ahead. The Potters kept plugging away in the second half and Daddison had the chance to go from villain to hero when he ran on to a Goodfellow pass and was brought down by Ariane Dezieux after 66 minutes. Stoke City 2, Wigan 2. There was nothing posh about Peterborough's pitch, and the Potters were in trouble straight from the start. Peterborough had already rattled the crossbar seconds after Stoke had kicked off, and their first goal was registered after only 1 minute. Farrell capitalised on the confusion. The Peterborough defence and the state of the pitch couldn't restrict Goodfellow, but he just couldn't find the finish. No finishing problems for Daddison after 20 minutes as he met Gudjonsson's delivery with perfection. Peterborough 1, Stoke City 1. Cutler had warmed to the task and was having a superb game. And it looked like he had secured a draw for Stoke in the dying seconds. But substitutes Cook and Iwelumo had other ideas as they combined to tee up Goodfellow for his 4th of the season. Peterborough 1, Stoke City 2. Stoke maintained their second place, but with only 8 points from 18, they were losing ground on Reading, and the teams below them had games in hand. 2 wins from 6 meant another poor month for the Potters, despite big scorelines against Cambridge and Bury. Not a good start to the month as Stoke visited Bournemouth, who hadn't won for 12 games, and promptly went 1-0 behind after 6 minutes. Feeney's cross forced a parry from Cutler, Purchase pounced. Stoke certainly weren't making life easy for themselves, and an uncharacteristic error by O'Connor allowed Feeney to supply another goal-scoring opportunity. Hughes was the grateful recipient this time after 44 minutes. Bournemouth 2, Stoke City 0. It was Feeney himself that made it 3-0 10 minutes after the break. When Stewart brought down Cook, he earned himself a yellow card, and Daddison stepped up to the penalty spot and coolly reduced Stoke's deficit. The Potters kept up the pressure, but to no avail. Bournemouth 3, Stoke City 1. They may have been bottom of the division, but Stoke needed a boost, and with automatic promotion still the aim, you wouldn't turn your nose up at a 5-0 win against Cambridge. Andy Cook got things started by steering Thomas's shot safely into the net after 23 minutes. When Goodfellow has the ball, he usually travels at one speed and in one direction. But he was aware of Cook outside him, and when the ball reached Gudjonsson, he made it 2-0 for Stoke after 27 minutes. Thordarson was yet another squad member who'd been out of action through injury, but on his return, he was delighted with his effort from Gudjonsson's cross. Stoke City 3, Cambridge 0. Cambridge were in enough trouble without adding to it themselves, but when Cook couldn't reach a Gudjonsson cross, Tan was on hand to make sure the chance didn't go begging. Stefan Thordarson was full of enthusiasm, as is usually the case when he actually gets to play. Substitute Carl Henry was not satisfied with a big score. He wanted to run Cambridge into the ground.
4 minutes added time. 4 minutes added time.
Mark Goodfellow tucked away a cross in the 90th minute, and it was smiles all round. Stoke 5, Cambridge 0. That was a most important victory for you, wasn't it?
Probably more important than people can imagine. After a dodgy spell, now was a time to make a win, and what a win.
Over 23,000 supporters in the ground for the visit of Port Vale, and it was a toss-up between this and the Wigan game for Stoke's blackest day of the season. No excuses for the dismal performance, but the goal was a bit on the lucky side. Goodfellow was a marked man and Rowland received a yellow card for the challenge. Carragher was even less subtle in his handling of the young winger. He also received a yellow for his trouble. Staniuk came closest to scoring for Stoke from a Gudjonsson corner. But on 36 minutes, Cummings was credited with the only goal of the game, and you won't see many like this in a season. This game, probably above all others, would affect Gudjon Thordarson's ultimate destiny. It was 0-0 at Notts County, and Stoke welcomed back Peter Handyside at Reading, and there were two new additions to the front line, Dion Burton and occasional Potter Arne Gunnlaugsson. The only goal of the game went to Reading 6 minutes into the second half via Curitan, but Stoke battled bravely and played the last 30 minutes with 10 men after Staniuk was sent off for the second time this season. Stoke hadn't scored in their previous 3 games, and it didn't look like they would either. Iwelumo found himself in prime position but couldn't find the net. The big Scot, who hadn't scored for 2.5 months, was shell-shocked, but how would it affect his game? Seconds before half-time, we'd find out as Burton guided Van Derzen's cross towards Iwelumo rather than the goal. Stoke 1, Bury 0. The memory of the previous miss was still vivid as the players left the field, and in the second half, an all-action Handyside made sure it wouldn't prove costly. In the 56th minute, a long ball from Thomas would test Iwelumo's nerve once more, and he passed with flying colours. Stoke 2, Bury 0. That goal made Iwelumo the first player to break into double figures. Cutler continued his good run of form and made sure Bury couldn't get a foothold in the game. Substitute Hoekstra made one of his infrequent appearances and supplied a deep cross for Iwelumo to nod down for Van Derzen to make it 3 for Stoke after 73 minutes. Stefan Thordarson, again coming on as a substitute, left his mark on the game after another deep ball from Hoekstra was put into the danger area by Flynn. It was a nice way to draw a line under a difficult 2 months and set up a clash with promotion rivals Brighton. Stoke 4, Bury 0. And Big Chris expressed his gratitude to Dion Burton.
Head was in the clouds from the bad miss, to be fair, and as soon as I missed it, Dion did say just get the head up and keep on going. To put the ball in my path like that was tremendous. You know what I mean, delighted with him, and as I say, I can't complain. 2 goals in the night, 3 points in the bank, delighted.
After the game against Reading, that if we don't get the 3 points against Bury, the game against Brighton doesn't mean as much to us. Now obviously with the 3 points in the bag, the game against Brighton will be much more important.
Friday night's a 6-pointer. All the boys are definitely going to be up for that, definitely. It's going to be a very, very important game, so we'll see what happens.
The turbulations of the last 2 months saw Stoke in 4th place, and while automatic promotion was still the aim, it looked far harder than it had done at the end of 2001.